I have a confession to make. Balatro scares me, and I'm only half joking. I've never been good at poker. Despite having a family member who runs local poker, several poker games for the original Xbox, and always wanting to play games like Poker Night at the Inventory, I still struggle to fully understand it. I can't bluff for shit and end up losing due to playing it way too safe. Blackjack I'm a bit better at when it at least comes to the concept of playing it, but when you start throwing flushes, full houses, straights, pots, and all those other terms at me, I essentially go quiet and stare off into space. So when a coworker of mine mentioned this poker roguelike called Balatro and told me how great it was, I kinda laughed it off and then went on with my day. Fast forward to December 2024. I would hear the occasional mention of Balatro on Twitter or from some friends who are roguelike enjoyers, but I mostly paid it no mind. Then, when voting for Game of the Year, I noticed that the silly little card game was a nominee. This blew my mind, not because I thought it wasn't deserving, but I was genuinely amazed that something I considered to be a mobile game / time waster thing was apparently this prestigious. To me, this was like seeing Candy Crush getting a Game Awards nomination. I was kinda excited to see something so small even be recognized as such a big event, and kinda rooted for it, especially after seeing a fucking orchestral version of the soundtrack. Like, genuinely, imagine how funny it would be if this silly little card game won Game of the Year. Astrobot ended up beating it, but I still kept thinking about how a card game could be that good. So, 2 days before New Year's Eve, I bought Balatro for my Switch while I was at a friend's house. I had some spare eShop money I had gotten for my birthday, so I figured, what the hell? I'll try the funny card game. What's the worst that could happen? My life has forever changed. I thought I would get more things done over the break from my job. I wanted to work on more videos, maybe do some streams, maybe start Persona 2 Innocent Sin, but no. This fucking jester grabbed me by the balls and said, "I'd like to see you try, asshole." Balatro sucked me in like no game has in a long time. Even when compared to other roguelikes, there's something about Balatro in particular that is different. The sound effects come off satisfying when played against the smooth as hell soundtrack. The amount of different builds you can go for seems to be never ending. The difficulty never seemed bullshit, instead making it feel like my fault every single time I lost a run. This wasn't just another simple roguelike. This was a video game distilled in its purest form. The gameplay itself may look boring, but it is surprisingly in-depth. And that isn't an overstatement. I still find new things to experience after playing this basically non-stop for a week. You're constantly unlocking new cards, decks, vouchers, and more, which keeps each run feeling fresh and exciting. I have yet to have a run in which nothing interesting happens during it, or a run that felt entirely wasted. The game consists of 8 antes, with antes being rounds in which you have to fight the small blind, the big blind, and the boss blind. You can skip the small and big blinds to get various perks, but I'm not a little bitch, so I usually fight them. To defeat a blind, you have to earn a certain amount of chips or more. To earn chips, you have to use the 8 cards you were dealt out of 52 to make a poker hand. High card, pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, straight, flush, full house, 4 of a kind, straight flush, royal flush, 5 of a kind, flush house, and flush 5, with those last couple ones being exclusive to Balatro and not actual poker hands. By creating poker hands, you are dealt chips which can then be affected by the multiplier, known as multi for short. You can increase and decrease the amount of chips and or multis earned through a variety of methods, the most common being joker cards. Jokers are not played like regular cards. Think of them like items in a traditional roguelike. You can earn or buy up to 5 of them, and they all have different effects that help you in various ways. Some add multipliers, some give you money, some add or change card values, some let you cheat. The possibilities feel truly endless. And that may also be because there's 150 different jokers in this game. In between blinds, you can access the shop. The shop sells jokers, but it also has a variety of other items. You can buy planet cards, which upgrade the poker hands you play. You can purchase tarot cards to directly affect current stats, like your deck, money, effects that get triggered, etc. There's spectral cards, which are like the extreme version of tarot cards and usually come with a disadvantage. You can buy booster packs, which give you a random assortment of normal cards, jokers, planets, spectral, or tarot cards to choose from. And there are also vouchers, which can drastically alter aspects surrounding the game. On top of all the cards that I've listed, you can also obtain cards that have special bonuses added, or use tarot cards or joker cards to add effects to your cards. For example, some cards are holographic, meaning they add plus 10 to the multiplier when they're played. Some cards are made of glass, meaning they times the entire multiplier by 2 when played, but have a 1 in 4 chance of breaking. Sometimes the card could have a gold seal on it, which means you get $3 when it's played. Sometimes the card can be made of stone with a purple seal, meaning it always scores and gives you 50 chips and creates a tarot if you discard it. And that doesn't even scratch the surface. And these effects aren't just limited to the playing cards, oh no. Your jokers can be affected by some of these enhancements as well, meaning you can get some truly insane, fucked up, crazy combinations. And even if you have the most broken, overpowered, batshit insane build known to man, it could all come crumbling down in an instant if you're not careful. Like I stated earlier, this is the most pure a video game has been in a long time. The actual design, in every aspect, is near perfection. The difficulty never feels unfair, but also never feels too easy. It somehow perfected difficulty and made playing fucking poker something that I can't stop doing. On top of tight gameplay, it is also just a very aesthetically pleasing game to look at. All of the art is pixelated and has an incredibly charming look to it. Every single Joker card also has its own artwork, making the task of finding them all pretty fun. The sound design is also really damn good. It reminds me of how Call of Duty engineered the hit marker sound effect to be satisfying to listen to. Every single action is accompanied by a perfect sound effect, like chips clicking or cards shuffling. And all of it is layered on a soundtrack that disguises itself as one continuous, never-ending song, and just, oh my god, dude, it's so good. So you may be asking yourself, why does this scare Userman? Shouldn't he be happy that someone, and yes, that means one person, made an almost perfect game? No! The fact that this game is pretty much flawless in every single aspect is terrifying. I legitimately fear that we may never see a game so finely tuned, so polished, so fresh and so clean ever again. The fact that this game transcends traditional roguelikes and has people who normally never even touch video games raving about it should tell you all you need to know. This is the one time you can call something a coworker game and mean that in a positive light. Do you realize how insane that is? This is like if Clash of Clans had enough content to rival Astrobot. I understand why this was nominated for Game of the Year because to me, this is the Game of the Year of 2024. And I beat Astrobot 100%. The fact that it was up there with the greats of this year originally had me confused, but now I've come to a horrific realization. It was snubbed. Balatro is not just a video game. It is the video game. I would recommend it, but I would also recommend wearing a condom. I would recommend washing your hands before eating. I would recommend wearing a mask if you're sick. I'd recommend looking both ways before you cross the street. Treat this video, if anything, as a warning. If you play Balatro, you may never be the same again. Thanks for watching.